Welcome to another episode of Reseller Evolution. I'm Scott.
And I'm Carl.
How's it going, Carl?
Good. How are
You know what show
you?
this is? Episode?
This is 70 something. Actually, I have no idea. 80. Is it 80? Wow. Good for us.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a rhyme. 80 is Grady.
That's better than what I had, which was nothing.
So how's it going, bud?
Good. Always happy to be here for our weekly chat, even if
we had chats in between.
Even though we had chats in between and we all say the same thing, I'm sure it's just an excuse to get together and have a good chat. So
yeah,
I hope people find it entertaining.
I don't know if it's quite the same thing. I mean, obviously it's all about reselling, but it's like poker. If you're talking poker, like, you know, there's different experiences, but it's just poker.
And we talk about
any subject.
And we talk about our big wins and our bad beats.
Yes. Or going fishing. Yeah, I caught a fish. Boom.
Yeah.
Good story. Like,
or
what else?
I got taken by a shark.
Yeah. Did you?
So there you go.
At a yard sale?
Yeah, it always happens, man. Pay too much.
This is more exciting than both of those, I think.
I can never pay attention in poker, so that's why I stopped.
I really like poker. I don't know. It's the sitting for hours is what really it just kind of, I feel like, okay, listen, if you win, you're happy. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
But if you don't win, I just wasted like 2, 3, 4 hours just.
And that's how I felt driving around to garage sales.
Oh,
finding nothing. Right.
Well, you know what? The last couple of weekends I can relate. The last couple of okay, I had one good yard sale last week where I got the wood carving of the ram and the seats and all that.
Yeah.
But that's really one yard sale, which is horrible. But this week, dude, I didn't get anything. Like, I don't think I spent more than $20, and I might have got 8 items, right? And they weren't like super duper items by any means, you know. But I mean, there is a but in there, so we can talk about that a little bit later. We can hold the audience hostage in suspense, waiting. What did Scott do?
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's exciting. It's
like, I don't even know what I think. So there you go.
It's a royal flush. It's a royal flush.
Wow. I had a straight flush once, but no one called me on it, so I just wasted it at the casino.
It was just a waste. Oh my God, Carl.
Anyways. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Like, I can't stand that either, but you know.
Yeah.
So should we talk about your pick, or should we just start with, like, is there anything else, like, get right into it here?
Well, okay, you brought it up, so we won't leave the audience in total suspense.
Right. Well, I thought that was garage sale fine, but this is
edge of their seat type moment. But no, I did get to a call, and honestly, I wasn't even expecting anything. So I guess it makes it feel even more. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why I feel it's so big. But what it was is someone's on Steph's side of the family. Now it's like kind of friend of the family or relative. I'm not exactly 100% sure still. But they had a brother and a father that had passed away, and they're getting in the process of selling the house, but they just had a few things that they weren't sure of. So I didn't even get to see everything. I'm looking back on it yesterday, or this just happened a couple days ago, but yeah, there were still a few more things upstairs that we just didn't get to. And my truck was full, so I guess I couldn't do anything anyway. But anyway, so I get there and I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to help them out, right? So I'm just going through it, and I'm really just giving them honest opinions, because I honestly didn't even think I was going to buy anything. And then she's like, she goes, well, like, would you be interested in buying this? And what would you pay for this stuff? And I'm like, well, are you asking me because you're curious if I would be interested in buying it? Or are you asking me because you're looking to sell it? Like I wasn't sure where we were going with this, because I wasn't expecting it all. I was kind of honestly, I was just thrown off. So she goes, no. She goes, if you're interested in buying it, because she goes, I know what you and Steph do. And she goes, if you're interested in buying it, like, what's your offer on this? So I'm like, ooh, now I gotta like, well, I just gave you kind of the prices and values and how to deal with it. Now I'm gonna get hammered
Right.
with my own strategy. So I said, honestly, I said, listen, I said, I know what we just discussed. I said, but as a reseller, and I went through the whole spiel, I said, I'm losing 30%, right?
Which
Like
is
if it's
true.
on eBay,
Yep.
13% right off the bat.
Yep.
I
All
said, and
true.
then they have this little thing that a lot of people don't know. It's called promoted listings, right? So you can lose another few percentage up there. And I talked about the rankings. And I said, I don't want to bore you with this, but I got to tell you what's going through my mind when I give you a price. And I said, in the booth, I pay rent, I pay commission, blah, 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 blah. So it's roughly about the same. And I just went through the whole spiel. And I said, this is in good condition. This is going to take a long time to clean up, and because it's dusty. And I'll tell you what that was in a second. But anyway, so I'm going through it. And I said, and she goes, well, what's the number? And I said, for everything here, I said, and normally I would have said about 350. That would have been my first throw price to try
350.
to get it for 500. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I'm just going to give you my price right off the bat. I won't play any games here, but I said, I feel most comfortable at $500 based on what I was getting there. And I said, and that'll include the couple things in the other room that we saw, which was a nice crucifix that I had no idea was going to be as much as it's worth. But I was thinking maybe $100. So, anyways, so she goes, okay. She goes, done.
Nice.
And I'm like, what? So, anyways, we started going through it, and there was a lot more cars there than I. So
Okay.
there was a lot of die-cast cars,
Okay. Yeah.
right? And there's nothing super high end, but there are some gems in there.
Yeah.
But just on pure volume, like I could sell them out of the store, and then the
Yeah.
gems, um,
And what's important here is that they're in the boxes.
clean, crisp boxes,
Yeah.
right? Like
If people want to see it, it's actually on your Instagram page. You
on
would
my
actually
Instagram.
post it.
Yeah, I did them, but they're already put in my case, which still look good, but you don't
No, I think it was
understand
great.
how clean and crisp the boxes are.
Yeah.
Like it's like buying them off the shelf. And some of them are like Walmart exclusives. They're all M2 machines, and then some of them are like the complete set, which you can sell. Like I've got two sets I've listed on eBay already. Well, they're about 100. They're I saw them sell between 85 and then 100 and something as the six. But mine actually are in their boxes where all six sets are in the box. So it comes with that extra little bit. So I put 145, 144.95, $145 each, like each of those sets. I don't know if I'll get that, but I think I should get 125. So if somebody comes in as a watcher, I'll throw it in. There's none available like that I could find. So
Yeah.
so anyways, so that was kind of nice, but a lot of them are muscle machines. They're the ones that sell, right? They're the miniatures, and they come in cases. They come in, some of them come in their plastic cases. And I kind of digress a little bit, like back and forth, but like they're the Barracudas, they're the Camaros, they're the nice cars, right? And some of them are race cars and blah 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 blah. Some are worth $35. Some are the haulers with the race car, so it's the long box with the transport truck and the car, and they're like 35 to $60. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when you said M2, that's the name of the company who's making
M2
it.
machines is
Yeah.
the brand. Like there's
Is the
Hot
brand.
Wheels, these are M2 machines.
Okay.
Is it M2 or 2M? I'm kind
M2.
of.
I'm cheating and looking at your listing here.
Oh, okay. There you go. So we'll see what happens. The
Yeah, these things are
downside on
funny,
all
eh?
this stuff right now is that they
Yeah.
are made in China,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I don't know how much of an effect. I put a couple up there. We'll see what happens. But the good side is I'm going to get just as much for them by putting them in the booth.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was finding I get more in the booth than I do online, right?
Like it sounds like a lot, like it's $150, but that's Like, so you're gonna say, okay, Scott, how did you come up with that price if you can't find any one of them like in the boxes and stuff? Well, you'll see tons of them for $20 to $27 each.
Yeah.
Those are sold comps,
Yeah.
right? So I just said, okay, there's six of them here at $25. That's $150, right?
Yeah.
So, and they come in that container that I couldn't find any in those containers. So I think 144.95 is a good starting point, and I think 125 should be a no brainer.
You
Because
had
if
them at
you're if you're
105.
buying if you're buying for $25 to $27, these are Canadian dollars. But if you're
Yeah.
buying them for that amount, you're going to want the whole collection. Well, this gives you the whole collection. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I am looking at the American prices. So you're right. Yeah.
Um,
Um, yeah, I always found these car things are kind of funny. Like I've seen like auctions that come up all the bloody time. But you got them so cheap and there's no work, kind of like the toy soldiers, that it's an amazing buy. And
well,
you're cherry picking the best to put online and the
yeah,
rest
but I didn't tell you what else came with that $500
exactly, yeah.
and what else I ended up doing. So first of all, the $500 like included other things. So I got a Ronson lighter display that lights up and spins around, and
Yeah, so
it's from the 60s or 70s. I think it's 70s,
yeah.
but I that took a while to clean up. I got 10 Zippo. Well, there are probably 8 Zippo lighters, and 2 are not. They're other brands. Um, so that's a good, right. And there's other little things in there. There's a Johnny West cowboy with his horse. That's $150 with the combo because a lot of accessories are there too. Um, and there's just other things like there's a probably at least a box, but I think there's like 2 boxes of other things that are there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So once I realized, because she goes like, I don't know, I might have misunderstood her, but I'm pretty sure I heard her right. She goes, we counted them. There's about 2,000 cars. And I'm like, really? Like, I wouldn't have said there was more than 500. Like, I'm looking, I don't even think there's 500. So, but I'm looking at the boxes. I'm like, okay, if that one has 300, I said, maybe there's 1,000 here is what I'm thinking in my head, but I don't see 2,000. I said, you know what? I said, there is a lot of cars here. I said, I don't see 2,000 cars, but I said, here's an extra $100. So now we're at 600. And then we get to a wishing well 1950s, 60s store display um, pop stand. So they would have put their pop crates on the stand or their pop cartons and stuff on the stand. It's got it's a little beat up, especially on the one side, but the other side looks pretty good. And it's got those like yellow bars that go across. They're metal with wishing well on them. So she goes, someone said that it's probably worth about $200. And I'm like, in this, like, you don't want to put it down, right? I'm like, I don't know. I said, maybe 150. I'm thinking it's about 125, $150. But 200, okay. So I said, well, what are you asking for this? She goes, well, what do you want to offer? And I said, well, honestly, I said, the most I could do is like, I could throw in another $50. She
That's
goes,
all I
done.
would offer. Yeah.
And she said, done. So
Yeah.
I ended up paying $650. And I told her to keep some cars because they were going to do a yard sale. And I didn't say to keep the little cars, but there was their Canadian Tire, their little coin bikes of trucks. And there was probably about 30 of them. So I said to keep those, try them in your yard sale. I said, they always sell for me out of the booth, but they linger for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, I never get really more than like 12.95 or $15. I said, people will try to charge you $30. I said, but they're hanging around for 12.95, $15. Like those are the prices I put on them. I said, I think there is a couple, but I don't know which ones they are. I think one's like a clear truck. I said, they do get a little bit more, but I mean, you're waiting for that buyer to come by too, right? So anyway, um, so that's where we stood, but like, I'm very happy with it. No matter how I look at it, the pure volume, and again, Carl, they're not like your funky cars. They're your older NASCAR. They're your your Corvette, your Barracuda, their Chevy Nova. Those are all little cars with such great detail in
Mm-hmm.
these plastic cases. The ones that are open are in the plastic cases, but there's way more in boxes than there is open. But they're still in those protective cases. So those
Yeah.
ones are definitely going to the booth. But let's put it this way. There's at least, I stopped counting around 350, and there might have been another 50 to, I don't think there was 450, an extra 100 on that, but let's say there's an extra 25 to 50 after that. Um, so let's say there's 400 in total at $10 a piece. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm probably going to get 150, maybe 200 for that Ronson thing because it's in such good shape. But it took me 2 hours to clean. Um, and then the Johnny West. So I don't know. Like there's a bit of money here, right? Let's say
Yeah.
there's 4,000. But the way I explained it was more of this is how I kind of talk about it. Is like, okay, let's say I paid 650. I gotta sell $1,000 worth before I make my money back. By the time commissions comes off that $1,000, I'm right around 650, 700.
And they don't account for your time too.
Well, I did explain my time in the pitch though,
Mm-hmm.
because like I have to list it, I have to clean it, you know what I mean. I
You have
did
to
say I
pack it. You have to ship it, right?
and
Like it's
ship it.
not just
Yep, yep. No, I said
it's
those
not
things
just
for
like
sure.
I buy this and instantly it turns into like 3 times the money. It's not like that.
Yeah, and
It's
there
only
was 3 or 4 boxes of these cars, and I said you call me in 6 months to a year from now, and I'm still going to have 1 or 2 of these boxes,
at least. Yeah.
right. So, um, so she seemed to understand, but I don't care. I think it was a great deal, and they will eventually go. These are the right cars. They're not bad cars. Um,
So what are bad cars then?
Well, the ones that I have, like a Porsche or more of like Ferraris and stuff like that, those are harder to sell. The
Mm,
muscle cars are like Mustangs, Corvettes, Camaros. Those things fly off the shelf, right? Like I get my biggest prices for those. Things that are Dukes of Hazard stuff,
yeah, Dukes of Hazard. Yeah.
right? Like those kind of things. Like there's Firebirds, there's Pontiac, there's all those things fly off the shelf. Those are muscle collector cars. Nobody really comes into our store driving a Ferrari. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I'm looking to
But
buy one. Yeah.
but a lot of guys have those old cars in the garage, right?
Yeah.
They've had
Yeah.
them probably when they were kids because they're rich farmer kids, and they get these farm cars, and then they never sell it. They just store it in their barn because they've taken over the farm. Like I'm kind of exaggerating, but there's a lot. Like if you drive down, you can see guys that have big barns and they've built them just to store their collection of like 3 or 4 cars. That is not uncommon. Just to drive on Highway 3 from here to or from here to Simcoe, you'll see, I don't know, there's at least 3 or 4 just on that major highway, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they have sometimes the cars parked out front and different things. So anyway, kind of getting off topic there, but um the muscle cars is what people want. So if you have a car, sometimes they like to have the brochure or a small miniature version that they could. Sometimes it's the bigger diecast too. Those really sell well, but I'm charging $10 to $15 for these. The bigger ones I've charged, like the Barracuda, I had over $100 and I got it
Yeah.
at the booth fairly quickly. Right, Chargers, all that stuff, Mustangs, different things, um, but they're the ones that sell. The old trucks are really good, right? And I got a lot of old trucks. Actually, I got to be careful because there's a thing from the M2 called square bodies, and they seem to have like the $30 range. And I might try to sell those online because I don't know if I'll get $30 for a little car, but they're called square bodies, M2 machine square bodies. So check that
Okay.
out. Those give you the higher values too. And it's fun to learn, Carl. You know what I mean? When you learn all this kind of stuff, like
Yeah.
to me, when I saw Walmart, I'm like, okay, these aren't going to be that good, right? They're just Walmart cheapy things, but they're not. They're like, I don't know. they even put in the title in capital letters Walmart exclusive and all this kind of stuff,
Yeah,
So
yeah, which you think would be a negative, but it's actually
you
a
think
positive.
so, but they're the ones with the big money or stuff, like the bigger monies. Um, so anyway, there you go.
No,
So I'm
that's
pretty
good.
happy with that. Like
No, it
I
sounds good to me.
Yeah, I calculated just the haulers, and there's probably an easy $800 just in the haulers with the trucks and the car like the trailer and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, just in those ones I'm getting my money back. And
Yeah.
those right, and there's not a lot of them. There might be 20, I don't know, times $30, $35 a piece. Some go into the $50. So yeah. So, anyways, and they're super good shape, like in their boxes and clean, like they're not dusty or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like not the cars.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff was. And to
Hmm.
get back to the crucifix, dude, I sent you a picture of comps on the exact same one.
Yeah, because you gave when Savage was on, you gave a bolo for crucifixes.
Yeah, for the metal ones. This one's
Yeah.
like nickel plated or something. Like I called it nickel plated, and a lot of them were, but the comp I gave you didn't even mention nickel plated.
Hmm.
Right? It just said metal or cast metal or something.
They probably
But
don't
it's
know.
the exact same one. It's a French, very ornate um, pattern.
Yeah.
So, but I'm probably going to give it to my mom for a gift. She doesn't listen to this show. She listened to the other one, but I'll probably give it to her for Christmas because her and my aunt are into that right now. Like they're getting up there and stuff, and they're very getting into the religion. And I got her a big one of those big thick Bibles, and she was really happy with it. She has it on this like table,
Oh wow.
so I'll give her the crucifix. I can kind of set with it. So,
Matching set.
but I mean, yeah. But I mean, this thing sells for over $400 Canadian.
Oh wow.
Like that's what it was sold for.
Yeah.
And there was two comps. One was for 600 something, but it was slightly different, but it was the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
But the one that looked exactly like this was just over 400 Canadian.
Wow.
I can actually look it up, Carl, because it's still in my photos.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Oh, that's really cool though.
Did
And
you
like
see the comp I sent you?
I did. I looked. Yes, I'll look again right now. Online. On the show.
$467.18.
There you go.
13
Yeah,
cents.
I still have it right here. $467 right there. See? I got evidence.
And the one that's very similar to it, but
Yeah.
not the exact, $652. So
Everyone was I didn't go garage selling and everyone was sending me their finds the last couple of days.
well,
Gold rings for
firing.
$5, bins of pins,
It sounds like a Siraj spray.
crucifixes, like
Bins of pins.
bins of pins.
Was
Yeah.
that Siraj with the pins too?
Good guess.
Yeah, okay.
So, and
Bins of
I
pins.
got more
That's
sleep.
that's a great. That could be your like store name or you bins of pins.
He does have bins of pins. Yeah. Well, that's great. Like, and the best thing is you didn't go out there looking for it. It came to you. You went out there, but you know what I mean? Like the contact.
Yeah, I had no expectations on this at all.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think it made it even better. Um, I don't know if it gets carried away. Like say there's something's in here, like I'll go back with a few extra bucks. You know what I mean? Just because they are friends and family and stuff like that. But it could also lead to other picks and stuff, right? So
Do you give them your business card to give out to other people?
no, they're like they're on Steph's side. They're like friends and family. Um, so that's why you got to tread kind of carefully, right? And I said that to her. I said, listen, like because before I even bought it, like I'm explaining, and she goes, well, at least you're being honest. She goes, and I said, let's put it this way. If I go to a yard sale and I see something for $1 and it's worth $100 or $1,000, I'm paying that dollar. Trust me.
Yeah.
But when you come in here to someone's house, like, I just want you to understand where my mindset is, right? So I most definitely will. If there's like if I'm sitting on these things a year from now, that's a different story, right? So you can sit here and talk about values all you want, but if they're like trickling out of the store, that's a different story. But if they're moving very quickly, which I think they will, like now actually going through them, I think I think there's going to be some money on the table here. But you got to remember, I got to sell $1,000 worth just to get my money back,
Yeah.
right? So after $2,000 of sales, then I can start thinking, okay, because now I paid for my time, I've made a little bit of profit, and now I can start to think, how am I going to, pay them back? But if I'm still sitting with half of them a year from now, I'd be lucky to be at $2,000. Like I might be at $2,000 exactly. You know what I mean? And I still
Yeah.
got to deal with these things for another year or whatever.
Working for free. Yeah.
So those things play in your mind when you're buying. So you can say, Scott, you took advantage of them. Like you're going to make $4,000. That doesn't necessarily ring true. There might be 4,000 retail dollars worth here, but if I got to take them to the auction after I've made $1,000 covering my time and stuff, and I got to take them to the auction and I get $200, like that's a big cry. You know what I mean? And that
Mm-hmm.
could definitely happen, right?
They don't account for that. Not that I expect the seller to know all that stuff, but
Right.
that's the reality of the situation too, right?
That's the reality of it. And I ended up leaving some other vehicles there that after the deal, I said try the because we're just going to try to blow everything else in a yard sale because there's a lot of stuff I just wasn't interested in. But I think there are yard sale worthy, like old bottles and different stuff that I just don't want to deal with because I know you're just a couple of like $5-10, and they're going to sit forever because I've done with pop bottles, right? So the
Yeah.
good ones sell really quickly, and then the rest, and they were all dirty, Carl. So like I don't want to get into. I just didn't want to deal with them. I got too much shit. So there was stuff like that. I just okay, it's kind of your yard sale knickknack stuff that'll probably go, but if it's dirty and all this stuff, I just don't want to touch it. But the clean cars, I'm fine with that because there's nothing. You'll never see a Ronson lighter display. I'll probably never see one again.
Yeah.
Especially in that condition. But it took me 2 hours to clean it, right? So
That's time, right? Like
that's
that's
time, right? And
$50 a time at least,
and it's worth it
It's
because
also cool too,
it
which just
looks
makes it
cool
fun
and
more.
it's really good. And like I saw Zippo ones go for $350 to $500, but that's Zippo. So I'm thinking this one's $150 to $200. I'm probably going to try 200 for sure. It's a Ronson, which is still very collectible, but it's not a Zippo, right? So anyway, I'm kind of digressing, but there's some really good stuff. I'm not putting the pick down. I'm just saying there's a lot of things a reseller has to account for in order to be successful, right?
Yeah,
And I think
numbers
if I
on
had to,
numbers on paper are easy.
and I think
It's
if I
the
had to go
work.
for more than $500, I probably would have turned it down at the time,
Mm,
just because of the pure volume. But then once I started digging into it and filling up those boxes, now I'm like, okay, maybe I better add a little bit more,
yeah,
And
but some
they didn't ask for extra. I gave them that extra $100 plus the 50
yeah,
for the thing. So I, I'm still trying to be fair, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of things we got to account for.
and sometimes the opposite happens. Something you get at home and it's not as good as you thought, or you didn't notice damage, or the
Yeah.
best piece is missing a key piece and you didn't realize it, right? Where you're buying the whole collection based on one item or a few items, and
Oh, also in there was those cap guns with the holsters.
yeah,
So I mean, it was a pretty good pick. Like
yeah,
I'm happy to only have to spend $650, but at the same time, I haven't sold one item yet. So
one thing you said in the past that I liked is like all they're doing is handing you a bunch of stuff and then getting a bunch of money in their hand.
yeah.
How fast is that for them?
Well, okay. You bring up a good point, and she said that throughout the conversation too. Like, I mean, I was there for a couple hours, Carl, so I can't put it all in 10 minutes. But you're exactly right. She said that there was some jewelry that she couldn't believe how much was valued in the jewelry, like it was gold and silver, but gold. And they were able to get enough to kind of pay for a big, like I don't know if it's a big funeral, but she gave me a number. I don't know how much I should be giving out here in info. Nobody's really listening, but I just want to be cautious. But at the same time, it paid for the funeral and then some.
Mm-hmm.
And really, they just want the stuff gone.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm overplaying it for this show in that, not overplaying it. That's kind of wrong, but I'm just saying, like, there was less desire for her to get money out of this than maybe a true collector, because it wasn't her stuff. They just want it gone. They want to sell the
Yeah.
house.
They don't have a connection to it.
They don't have a connection to it, right? So she was just happy to get that money, right, and get the stuff out of there. So
Yeah.
um, so if it was a collector, there's no way I'm getting that. Like if it was a collector's collection,
Yeah. They don't want to let it go sometimes.
right? So, but it's the situation. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, sometimes things fall into place, and I appreciate it. And I'd like to make sure that people can feel comfortable coming to me and selling me their stuff when they're in that situation, you know. Um, but at the same time, like I'm being truthful here. If there's like $3,000-4,000 worth there, probably going to go back with another $500 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there is commissions and stuff that comes off that. Depends how fast it sells to, right? Like everything I just kind of said. Like there's a lot of things in play.
I think people don't like, especially people who never owned a business, don't realize how expensive it is to run things. They
That's
just
true too.
right. They just look at like, oh, they made, I don't know, like they got $100,000 for this car, right? But they didn't realize 95,000 or 96,000 of that was actually cost.
Well, I totally agree with you, but I'm gonna say, whose fault is that?
The
I
buyer.
think it's YouTubers, because I can sell this for
Oh, yeah. It's like, where are you
300,
going with this? But now, yeah, okay.
right? So everybody doesn't understand the breakdown of it, because that's a boring show. But if you say I paid $2 and sold it for 400, that's an exciting show. You know what I
No,
mean?
I know, and people watch that, and they, like I've always said, my net's around 50%. When you count
Yeah,
for everything, about 50%. But if you want to talk gross, then it sounds like gross amounts. It sounds great, right?
yeah,
But yeah, like I sold all those cars, but they actually made a loss, right? Everything sounds good when you talk gross.
yeah. I mean, just come and look over here on my shelves, the stuff that I've listed, and it didn't sell overnight. Like it's still sitting there,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it'd be great if it sells overnight, but um. So anyway, yeah, I think the price was right, and again, like here's a pitch that I might use in the future. Like, let's just say there's $1,000 here. Like I gotta sell $1,000 just to make my money back, and that's the honest truth,
it is true. Yeah,
right?
that's the best argument to make. Yeah,
Yeah, like just to break even, I got to sell $1,000 worth. And if I'm selling $1,000 worth of stuff, that's a lot of my time that's just breaking even, you
yeah,
know? So
and
I got to
and
make, once I sell that, then I start making some profits. That's going to pay for all the work I do. But like, anyway, the problem is, I don't think new resellers understand that part of it.
sometimes no. I think a
Like,
lot of them sometimes are making losses and they don't even know it.
yeah. So I think my biggest success, that's a question of the day. That's a topic. What made you kind of have success in this, Carl? Because I would say my biggest success was starting small in an antique store, learning so much, but at the same time buying things super cheap. Because if it looked interesting, I could buy it super cheap, and if it's older stuff, a lot of people account that as being garbage. They don't see it as being valued. They kind of see it as like, so when you go to yard sales or estate sales, you could kind of get this stuff cheap. You can even get it on the side of the road because people, you know what I mean? I think that's kind of helped me grow into this successfully. What would you say yours would have been?
It's funny because we come from different perspectives.
We do.
And when I've talked to my friend John, who's more from your side, he says the exact same thing as you do. Get things as cheap as you can. You need to get things really cheap. And you can't ask the moon because you want the stuff out and you
You
want
want
to
it
turn it over.
pushed out, yeah.
I come from an eBay world, though. It's a very
In
different world
in COVID times,
in COVID times
yeah,
where screw that. I want top value for my stuff. I don't care if it's in my bin and I'm willing to wait. So I don't need to get things cheap because I want that $100 thing for $20. I don't care about the thing worth $20 for free. And my success was more on those high end items, to be honest. So you have to, my perspective has changed a lot though over time. I do like, if you look at success, I'm not analyzing my business as much as I should to see where my money is coming from because it's right now it's pretty low, right? But I've talked about my perspectives on this stuff is my success is how much is my return on my time, right? So it's a completely different thing. And that's why I come into conflict because both things are true. That's the problem, right?
yep,
It's like if you get things as cheap as you can and you pump them out, that can be a really good business, right? Like I hear from John the same thing I hear from you. When I go to sell something, well, how much did you pay for it? How much did you pay for it? And I'm from the eBay world where it's more like, how much is it worth?
yeah,
I don't care how much you paid for something. I don't care if you paid 1,000 or $10. All I care about is how much is that item worth? Because I can see on eBay very easily comps. So I can see how much that sells for, right? That's the difference. And that's so, it's funny. Like when John says, well, how much did you pay for it? And he says, you got to get over that. I say yes, but I don't know if I agree. I because of that different perspective, because of the I'm willing to wait. So, if I come straight to the booth world, I would be much more about getting it as cheap as possible.
yeah,
Because in the booth world, I'm not going to get the full eBay prices usually. And I have a physical inventory in taking up space where I need the turnover is much more important, right? I don't care about the turnover in my eBay world because it's sitting in a bin over there.
right,
I have lots of room for more bins, right? That's not the issue. And it's not the issue of capital. I'm not waiting for money to put into more inventory. But if it come from the booth world, it'd be very different. But so far in my experience, I've talked ad nauseum on here, is I make a lot more in the eBay world than I do in the booth. And I'm biased, so I could be wrong. But I think when I go to that market, they're experiencing the same thing that they might not be making as much as they think they are, but the difference is they're getting cash in their hand and they have their float and the money's going back and forth, right?
right,
And and it can give you the false perspective of how you're doing. Where on the eBay world, you see the numbers in your bank account, which is a lot harder to fake. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I would like to just say, like, I think there's truth on both sides, right? Now, don't get me wrong. If I can get stuff as cheap as I can, hell yeah. Like if I'm learning something new and I can get it cheap, I will get it even if I know nothing about it. Where on the eBay world, I'm much more cherry picking. And you are too. Like when you got that big load of all the cars there, right? You're cherry picking to go onto eBay, right? That's not all of it, but you are cherry picking in a way. Oh, this is really valuable. This is really good. I will only get this much money online, right?
yeah.
But
Well,
the inverse can be true too. Like sometimes, like with
yeah,
those cars, for me, I can't get that online, but in the booth I can. So
yeah,
it's not black and white, like you like to say.
and like okay, if you buy 300 cars and you know that this kind of stuff sells out of your booth and I can get $10 a piece, that's $3,000, right? So, and then you go back to the after I sell them and commission comes off, I'm gonna have to sell $1,000 worth just to break even, and then the rest is gravy. Well, there's still $300 per thousand coming off the other two. So you're really around $1,400 profit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you're maintaining that kind of stuff. Now, I kind of wanted to jump in, but I didn't want to interrupt. So you had said about buying stuff, and I think this is kind of where our two worlds start to come together, is because I get everything cheap to learn. And then once I learn it, then I realize there's stuff out there that I can actually throw some money at because this is what it's worth and this is what people will pay and shipping. And once you understand a lot of other variables. So I'm going to digress into two things. First of all, that one there. So now you start, most of it is all about buying the stuff cheap and getting a lot of it, right? And then the cherry pick the stuff that go to eBay, and the other stuff can go to the on eBay. So, but the other side of things is you when I first started, everything is about buying it cheap and then moving it, which is still a good strategy and the one that I use. But I also do look for things that might cost me a little bit extra money. So maybe I'm paying $50 and it's worth 150, but I know it's going to sell and I have no work into it. You know, I don't have to clean it and all this kind of stuff. So I do get those things too, but for the most part, it's about pure volume and and moving the stuff quickly, where if it's not worth putting online, I can throw it in my booth and I know it will sell. And I don't know. I think I did grab a couple of those bigger items that will not sell just because they're so big in this pick, which is that lighter thing. That's a great item, but it will sell out of the booth and I'll get good money for it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And the wishing well stand, which is very popular. I just wish it had a big topper sign or something a little bit more advertising, like more in the advertising thing. So
I think the other big thing too is like when you're talking about buying things in cheap, you're also buying things in bulk. As opposed to me, who were when I'm buying things, especially from thrift stores, it's not in bulk. I'm paying more, but it's more one item at a time, which is really inefficient. Which is why I don't go to thrift stores anymore. Because like I can get like a home run. Like the couple weeks ago, I got a home run of film cameras, but that's not a in bulk where I got like 20 of them or 14 or something. But that's not a common issue happening. Where when you're picking like you are, these big bulk buys are much higher chance of that happening. And in that case, you're getting things cheaper because you are getting per item, right? But in one way, you're paying more because you're coming up with that 500, $600, right?
yeah,
Where I'm paying, but per item, you're paying a lot less. You know what I mean? So,
right, right,
from my perspective, it's actually kind of intimidating paying that 500, $600 because I never pay anything like that at one time in one purchase.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep.
Even though you're paying a lot less. So it is a funny thing where, I'm saying I'm paying more, but in reality, you're coming up with a lot bigger commitment.
Well, I remember when I paid $5,000 for all those toy soldiers. A lot of people said I would never have paid $5,000,
Yeah.
and that was probably one of my best buys that I'll never be able to repeat. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to say never because I hope it happens at least twice a year, right? But or more. But
You are going to get those naysayers anytime
yeah, and
for all aspects of your
I
life, I
don't think
promise.
they're wrong. Like I think they're just, first of all, they're not in the situation to see what I saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's easier to say that, but it gets back to the volume. Like it gets back to the price per item. And it's just, I don't know. I it felt right. And I've turned down ones that might have been good ones, but they wanted $3,000, which was even less money, but I didn't feel comfortable with it. I saw a lot of work. I saw a lot of things I didn't know. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can throw big dollars at things, but you just have to kind of make sure at the end of the day, per item is going to be fantastic. And the return on investment is big for me. I don't know. I know we had that
And
conversation.
sometimes
I don't want to bring that up.
even sometimes free stuff,
Free
you're going to
stuff,
lose.
dude. Yes.
So like that that came up because like last week, Amy and I were walking around like we normally do, and someone had in their two different houses. One of them had a whole box full of audio cassettes, and the other house had a whole bunch of free stuff, including a big box of records and a
Sitting at the curb, Carl?
sitting at the curb and a big box of CDs.
Did Amy go across the road and like I don't know him type? Like
No,
through the
well, she
garden?
offered to stand there while I went and got the car. So before anyone gets too excited, there's more to the story, right?
Okay.
So, and the story hasn't been told yet. So I went back, got the car, and I didn't make her wait there. She came back with me, and then because I didn't really care that much.
Right.
Can you guess why I didn't really care that much for the free stuff?
Because you didn't have room for it, or I don't know.
No, just because it's free doesn't mean it's popular items.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, it would mean that less likely it is popular.
So I went back. I got one huge box of tapes, audio cassettes, one box of CDs, and one big box of records. Right. I would say about at least 80%, if not 9%, is French Canadian.
Yeah.
Which
is
in
it
general,
rock?
What?
French Canadian like rock?
French Canadian music.
Yeah, but rock music or what kind of like is it polka? Like there's some like foreign language. So those are CD. Like I'm not going to know who they are, but that's
I'm showing these tapes. Well, that one's blank, so it doesn't help. So just a bunch of like, maybe I might have cherry picked these ones I'm showing you. Oh, here's a good example of shit like this. Like, what the hell's that? One day, one night, Gino Quilico.
Yeah, it's like an Italian French guy.
I'm translating from French there.
Yeah,
but a bunch of that. So my friend John, who's French Canadian,
yeah,
and he knows music, right? He's the one has all the records at my booth and tapes, actually, and CDs. And so I thought, well, I'm going to cheat, and I'm just going to get him to look through them all. So he hangs out of the booth on Sundays, quite a bit, and he was there this Sunday. So I was like, I'm just going to bring you my tapes, and you can look through them and let me know.
They're actually CDs, though.
Yeah, but I had a box of tapes as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I haven't had him look through the CDs or the records yet.
Okay.
Because they're bulky, right? So I brought the tapes, and I got him to go through the tapes. Out of the whole box of tapes, only two of them were okay.
Okay.
So I just gave him the two tapes because it's too hard to keep track of whose tapes are whose. So I just said, here, put these two tapes in with your collection and whatever. And the rest of the tapes got turned into Valley Village coupons.
Oh, okay.
Because, it's free and I spent all that time, but I got no return at it. Now, I haven't done the cassettes yet, I haven't done the records yet, but a lot of it's the same kind of stuff. So who knows?
Yeah, I would think though, like if it was like a genre of rock or no, I know it's in French, but or punk,
yeah,
punk.
No. There's
like
nothing.
It might be some really obscure kind of bands in there that.
If it was punk or rock, yeah, even I would know that, right?
Okay. Yeah,
it's not. It's like. Joe put out a record and it's only popular in Quebec, and they're the only ones who've ever heard of it.
It's like a bunch of guys trying to imitate and sing Celine Dion style music.
Yeah. Who knows? There's some Passepartout. That's a children's show. I'm probably saying it wrong in there too. Anywho, it was just funny. I knew that's why I wasn't too excited to go back and pick it up, because I knew 99% of it would be junk. And so far, it's true. Now, with the records, I went through a little tiny bit, and some of them are okay.
So basically, you're saying this French music stuff was poop de jour?
Yeah, poop de jour. Yeah. Yeah. And nothing wrong with the French culture, of course, but there's no demand for it, damn it.
No, I'm not putting down French culture at all. I'm just saying.
I heard you say it right now.
I just used the French language to explain the
The
value, like
quality of the stuff, yeah.
like the stuff.
We'll see. Anyway, so yeah, I might be wasting my time, but it's free. It's hard to let free records go by, right? We'll see. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm seeing John today, and I'm going to get him to look through the records because records are damn heavy, right? I don't want to bring them to the booth for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like I said, too bad. Like, imagine if you found like a bunch
I
of
know.
like, I mean, we always that always plays in our mind. How
All punk, all punk. Yeah,
you know?
I remember I teased someone once at the Valley Village. A bunch of CDs came out, and we're all going around it, and I said, and the guy's like frantically going on the other side. I said, "Oh, this is all just rap music. Who wants rap music?" He's just seen his eyes light up. And I said, sorry, man, just teasing. Because even I know like that stuff is really valuable. So, but anyways,
Yeah, and it's all about the artist in a lot of cases too. So
there could
or the
be a hidden
band.
winner here, but
So if you got something really obscure in the right culture, like I don't know, I worked when I worked at Toyota. One of the guys, he was really into the punk, and he's saying it's like some of the 45s can be worth like hundreds of dollars,
yeah, yeah.
right? So I'm like, I've never found one.
No,
Like I've never even found the punk stuff, but some of that stuff can really go really well. There was actually, I think it was on Netflix. But did you ever watch the one where those guys started that punk rock, that punk bar?
no.
Dude, I'm gonna find out and I'll tell you about it next week because I'm gonna recommend everybody buy this. But it was like one of those bars where a lot of famous people. It started as nothing, but
Yeah.
it grew into this kind of this trendy thing for punk people, and it ended up having some really famous punk rockers come through this bar.
Hmm.
And it just started off, this guy was basically broken down on his luck and everything, and he just kind of created this bar out of nothing in the dumps of, I would say, I think it was New York.
So in other words, it was punk because that's where it started from, really.
Well, that's this guy's the one that started it.
Yeah.
Like he started this kind of trend thing, but it was crazy. But I don't want to give it away too much, but you gotta watch this movie if you haven't
Okay.
seen it. It's really good. And then they show at the end with the credits, they show like actual pictures of people singing on stage and different things, like
Oh, that's
famous
fun.
people. So, but it was all back in like the 70s, right? So
Yeah.
80s. So anyway, Carl.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about a little bit was I tried I've been playing with the AI stuff, and I've been in terms of sourcing stuff, and for the lazy stuff, I made a sign. I think I mentioned it last time of
I don't know if you mentioned it on the show, but you definitely mentioned it to me.
so anyways, I got AI to make me a sign saying I buy stuff. And I just put it in one of those clear plastic sign holders and put it on my booth. And I thought, you know what, this is no work. I like that passive sourcing. So I put it up in my booth for the first time this weekend. And it actually got me 3 leads with
Oh,
no work. Just having
really?
it there. Yeah. 3
Wow.
leads. So um one of them was someone who came in to sell an RC car. I did not buy the RC car because they said it sold for like 400, 450, and they wanted 200 and 250 for it.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I'm not interested because I don't know anything about those high end RC cars. It's electronics tested, and I don't really know if it's worth that much. And I'm not going to shell out that kind of money. I didn't
Right.
say any of that in that way. Just saying, yeah, it's not out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't have to do anything, and the guy would never have offered it if he never saw my sign,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So, and then one of them was just like this guy saying, "Oh, I have some stuff I want to sell," and he took a business card. I don't think I'll ever hear from them, but he did talk for a while, and his wife bought something, so it was good.
Yeah, but it also, you just never know, right?
You
So,
never know. But the third one was an older couple, and they want to do the classic downsize thing.
yep.
And they said, oh, they have a whole bunch of stuff that they want to sell, and would I come out there and check it out? And that has a much higher chance of actually happening. And we had a really good discussion. And now I'm not going to say that anything that's going to come from this, but at least there's a chance it will. And what I was thinking is this was with no work. This is me just going to AI, saying, make me a sign. It made a great sign. And then maybe I'll put it on Instagram just for something to do. And then getting leads. So we'll see. The only thing I might do, and I'm not quite sure, is this is very passive. So like, here's my sign, take my card, which just basically just has my email address on it, not even my phone number. What I might do next time is say, here's my sign, here's my cards. But if you want me to bug you about this, if you want me to initiate action, if I don't hear from you, if you need a push, here's a list, put your name and number and email. And if I don't hear from you for a week or two, I'm going to bug you in a jokingly way, right? Just
Yeah.
saying, hey, if you want to be bugged, if you want me to like actually follow up, you can put your stuff here. And if you don't, that's cool too. But if you need that push here, you go. Because I think there is a lot of these people who want to downsize,
Oh yeah,
but they
for
need
sure.
the initialization of the action, right? But the main thing is, like I said, no work makes Carl very happy. So
Yeah. Well, the initiation of the action to me could mean a lot of things, but the one I think is people just don't know where to go,
yes, yeah,
right? And the option, unfortunately, in a lot of situations, ends up being like the dump,
oh, yeah,
right? But they don't know where to go, and some people can't be bothered with yard sales and different things. So yeah, so if you give them an option other than the dump and other than a yard sale, like I mean, that's the only problem is some of them when they know there's someone coming in to buy the stuff will start looking it up, and then it gets to be kind of a pain. Oh, this is 200, I'll give it to you for 180. You know what I mean?
that's definitely going to happen.
But
But if you want perfection, you're going to wait forever for anything,
no,
right?
no, no, for sure. But then you're going to get the other people that say, just give me an offer on everything. And that's how I kind of started. It was like, well, let's just take a look around, and I'll gravitate to a few things that are cheaper, but not like maybe around like $100 or less, right? And I'll just kind of like I'm just thinking in the past, but like a ceramic Christmas tree. Not everybody understands the value of them, but a lot of people have them. So like, what are you thinking on this? Just to kind of throw it out there and kind of getting an idea. They're going to put a lot of value into tools and stuff that they use, but they don't necessarily put a lot of value in the other stuff. And the other side of things is they say they want to downsize, but when you get in there, then all of a sudden they're attached to everything and they don't know if they want to get rid of it. And it's like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
So
so,
there is that cost,
which is
but
not a cost in my mind, Carl. I know you put it that way and it's interesting, but I still enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, you can enjoy something and still have a cost to it.
no, no, you're right. You're right
Yeah.
for sure.
And to me, the cost is the time that you're committing to doing this. But to me, the cost is worth it because when I drive around to all my thrift stores or even going to pick up an auction
Yeah,
buy, I'm paying often an hour of time, if not more. Right? Like when you're doing garage sales in the morning, you're paying 3 or 4 hours, at least 2 hours of time, right?
yeah,
When you go to these places, you're spending at least an hour or two there, at least. Plus, who knows, the hour there, hour back, 4 hours, right?
yeah,
But the potential payoff for the 4 hours is much higher.
for sure.
Usually, it can be
Yeah,
zero, but overall, it's going to be, I think, it's going to be better. And like I said, this is passive, so you have control of when you want to do this too, to a certain extent, of course. You could do it for when you don't have time, as opposed to having to get up Sunday mornings at 5:30 in the morning to do this stuff. But
Yeah, no, agree for sure. Agree for sure. Well, I wish you luck for sure.
oh, I don't think anything's going to come of it, which is fine. I don't care. That's
Yeah,
the other power too here too. It was just for me the intellectual, not the intellectual stuff, that the trying something new is what excites me. And like I said, it's not perfect. Like really, I should have another way of communicating rather than just email. I should have a website. I should do all this stuff, but you don't need any of that stuff. Sometimes it's better just to get started on something
yeah.
and then improve it over time than waiting for having all your boats, everything in a row before you start, because then you'll never start. At least for me, I'll never start.
No, I agree totally. Like
Like,
I've thought of different ways to get into places and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden I'm bombarded with a bunch of inventory. Like, so
yes,
you're always like, okay, I mean, listen, I sit here and complain about 2 storage units full of stuff, and I got to get rid of that. I got to move through that. But there's going to be a time when that's cleared up. I think, but, but
yeah, you're
I
in a
always
new
think in the back of my mind,
yeah.
what will happen if I can't find inventory? Like, what will I do? You know what I mean? So,
But there also is the case of when you get new inventory signage, you get that really amazing buy that you don't want to miss out on, right? Like, yeah, you have lots of stuff you could list, but by not doing this, you miss out on that $400 item that you could buy the whole lot of stuff, quickly get that one up at least, and then you have the other stuff that you can do whatever with, right? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, uh,
And I think I'm picking, like, okay, so we talk about our 2 different worlds and how we started colliding. Another thing is that when you first start, you're kind of buying everything. And I said this last week, I don't have a problem with it, because what ends up happening is you learn a lot. But then there gets to be a point where you got to move through that kind of stuff. But so what I'm kind of doing now, because I have so much inventory, is I'm really cherry picking. You know what I mean? Like, even though I bought all these cars, it's still a cherry pick because they're clean and they will sell. What exactly I'm going to get for them is kind of a guess. I think it's a highly probable guess, but it's still a guess. But um, it's still cherry picking in the way that I'm not just grabbing stuff that has no value. I'm grabbing with stuff with value. I'm 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 going to be able to move through this stuff fairly easily. Maybe not quickly so much, because it all depends on sales, but it's easy. I can grab 10 of them at a time and take them to the booth. I don't have to really look them over. I might do a quick Google lens or search just to make sure I'm not giving away a 10 for $10 something that's worth 50 because it's a limited edition or something. But I'm just saying that I'm picking smarter. I'm picking better desired items instead of just throwing a blanket over a bunch and then, like a net, and pulling it in and then going
yeah,
through it, because it wastes a lot of time. Again, I'm gonna contradict myself, because when you first start out, I think that's I don't think I would start out differently, because I've learned so much, especially about cleaning and time involved and all that kind of stuff. And you really have to feel it out firsthand. Because I wouldn't say don't pick everything. Like, don't not pick stuff because you have to clean it. I had to clean that Ronson thing, and it's totally worth it every dime, and it looks cool. And it's one of those things that maybe you end up keeping. I probably won't, but it's, you know what I'm saying.
mm-hmm.
But it was dirty and dusty. So if you discard it because, oh, I got to put time in it, that's not what I'm saying. But overall, you're you know there's other things that I could have picked at yard sales and stuff recently that maybe in the past I would have, like, oh, I'm having a bad day, I'm going to pick this stuff. Well, now I'm mature enough as a reseller to say, nah. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, Carl?
Yeah, like now when I go to the Value Village and I grab everything, and
Yeah,
then I decide what I'm going to buy, I look over it again, saying, "Are you just
yeah,
buying it for the sake of buying it?"
yeah,
Because sometimes, even then, after a first initial walkthrough, you're going like, "What the hell am I doing?"
yeah,
Like, I'm not going to make any. I'm just going to make $1 or two off of this. You're just buying. It's best to walk away with nothing in those cases,
yeah,
where it can be very tempting to say, "Well, I'm going to buy this, so at least I brought something home," and then it gets thrown into a box. Like, yeah, I still have to fight that
yeah,
because you don't like to walk away with nothing, you know.
yeah. But
And like when it comes to clean, like there are cases too, like say I got a remote control worth money, right? Like and when I mean money, I mean like 20, 30, $40, right? Now I'm much more pickier on the condition they are, where I would look at the model number and look at the comps and ignore the condition. But now if I got to clean that thing, like I'm gonna leave it behind unless it's worth $40 or more, right?
yeah,
Because I just don't want to deal with it. Where in the past I would not account for that cleaning time. So I am more picky in those ways. It's like anything. It's hard though because sometimes it's like don't be too picky
yeah.
because there's usually surprises when you get those bulk lots, right? You go
Yeah.
like, why the hell is this worth so much money?
And you hate to say something here and be held
Well,
accountable
I
for
don't think, yeah,
everything you buy. You know what I mean? Well, you said, well, okay, but
yeah.
there are occasions where things change. You know what I mean?
Oh, things change. Like who knows? Maybe all the people who like hot rods are dead in 10 years, and the market collapses, right?
Or everyone likes battery operated cars are dead in 10 years, right? In the
Or
market
whatever.
drops.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't take away
Yeah.
the hot rods, buddy.
Okay, sorry to any hot rod people out there. But even like my toy soldiers over here that I have, the older ones, they're not worth nearly as much as you think. They're worth like $2, $3 each, maybe five for the ones of the condition that I have for these old ones. Because most of the people play with these are as kids are gone. So
Right.
it's not like they don't have value. I'm just saying the value probably I don't know for sure, but probably has come down a bit in the last few years too. So
Well, and there could be a lot more out there as well.
they pump them out too for
Right.
sure.
And we've talked about that in other shows and stuff about how people are passing away, and then all of a sudden you got a lot of stuff out there, or at one time things are valuable. Like I was watching Homeschool Picker and Part Time Picker; they're together now. But anyway, one of the things that Matt had said was that um, he used to find this vintage underwear, like new in the package, but the vintage stuff, which I had found at one time too. But anyway, he was saying how that was kind of one of his bolos, but he thinks he's pushed the word out there, and now
Yeah.
everybody's going after him, and he hasn't found any in years. You know what I mean?
They filled the market demand.
Yes. So you're doing two bads, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like more people are looking for it and buying it, and then when they put more out there, then yeah, the demand is gone. So anyway, it's just something that we're struggling with all the time as well. So,
That's kind of the fun part too, right?
but well, good on the sign. I'm glad that's working out for you. And in the beginning stages of working out, like you still got to get that phone call. I understand the details, but at least people are picking up the card, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
who cares? One out of every 25 people, you know,
oh yeah, I don't
that's
care.
all you need, right? Like
Yeah,
if you can you're already at three, so let's just say over a month, you 20 cards go and you get a call one over, like that's once a month. That's probably more than enough, especially if
with
you're
no
buying.
work,
What's that?
with no work
With no work,
to
right?
initiate the contacts. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, did you have a sale of the week that you want to talk about? Like, I know we used to do bolos of the week.
Sales.
So Tina Mac, if you're listening, we're still kind of doing it in a way, but we're just kind of talking maybe a sale of the week or something like that, which is still a kind of a bolo,
I
but
never agreed to
there's
this.
less stress. There's less stress involved for Carl to come up with a bolo. Me
I
too.
never agreed to this. What the hell are you talking about? Sale of the week.
I
You just
thought we talked
literally,
about this.
yeah. And I said no. I said
Oh, okay.
no.
Well, I have one. Like I have a couple things here, but there's one I'd like to talk about.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm saying we can't. Some we can't talk about. I'm just saying I'm coming up with
So,
one every week.
so kind of, and it doesn't have to be your best sale, like the highest dollar amount, but it's still something interesting to me, and it has to deal with books. So don't fall asleep, everyone, when I say books, because this is actually, you know,
Nerd.
1898 and 1906. There was a volumes one and volume two, and it's heavily illustrated modern machine shop practices, third edition, volumes one and two. So these are old books. These are like 125, 100, I don't know, 30 years old, 125 years old. I don't know. Does that sound right? I don't even know.
I'm not listening. No, I'm looking up your thing. I see it here. 1906 modern machine shop practice.
Well, if you look up the one book, it's 1889 and the other one's 1906. So, but they're both the same. They're both third editions. Like, I don't know why that would be different. I looked up the one yesterday because Steph's son was here. So we looked at it, and now I'm seeing 1906. So anyway, um, so those books I sold for $225, and they came out of that lot of. Remember, I bought 3,000 books a few years ago. Well, I still have a couple hundred left, but I haven't listed them. But there's still, I don't know, there might be 50 that I have listed out of that lot right now listed. It's such a good pick, but it was a lot of work. So would I do it again? 100%. But books can be a lot of work. But there's always those gems. But anytime you see an older book to me would be, I don't know, maybe 1950s would count. But really, if you're getting into the 30s, 1800s, early 1900s seems to be the best. But on anything machining, machine shop, steam, like about the old steam engines and industrial. I've always had success on those kind of books. These ones are older. I think I started about 400, and then I kind of came down. I think I came down to 299.95, and then this person was a watcher. So instead of a percentage, I went in with a 225. These are basically free money because I've already made money back like within the first week of buying that stuff. I made my money back, and that was 2 years ago. So I've been selling lots of books since. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw them in there. I think that's a steal of a deal,
Yeah.
but it's free money to me, and it's just a matter of now I just got to ship them out. But anything in that, any older books in that genre of or subject matter, I think if you can get them for a couple of bucks, I think they're a no brainer. Like, unless you want to look them up, then you can pay more. But I'm just saying, if you're at a yard sale and and I've done this too, it's for a couple of bucks. I'm picking them up, right? 1920s, 1930s, couple bucks. I've done very successful, but these are ones that just are going to go out today, and I just thought I'd throw them in there.
Sweet.
And they look really cool. They're very illustrated, and they're huge. Like, I think this guy got a steal. I think these are probably worth double in real value terms. But it's sometimes things can sell, and sometimes they can sit. But I think when he gets them, he's going to be really surprised how good a condition they are and everything else. So.
Sometimes people will buy them just because they like the outer covers too. They don't even care about the.
Well, yeah, but
They,
it's still the subject matter that seems to be what people like to.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that subject matter always has done well for me. So anyway, that's just kind of want to talk about that sale. That's the sale of the week, I guess, for me to talk about, anyways.
What did I say? I sold a Funko Pop, so 40
Oh.
American. So and I sold one the previous week for 30 American. So my Funkos are, the higher ones online are doing a lot better than the ones in the booth. The ones in the booth aren't even moving. So there's still some demand for that. I saw a Rolex box, empty box for 34 American, 35 American. So that was pretty good. So,
I did sell something out of the booth that I was kind of like surprised it went so fast. In a way, I know I had it underpriced, but it was because it's a big object. Roll up top desk.
oh yeah,
I got $150 for that. So,
I would never touch something like that.
well, I bought it for myself. I paid $4 at an auction.
Yeah. Furniture at auctions, like especially live auctions, can be amazingly low because no one
Well,
wants
they
to
can go
move
high,
it.
but it's just I was just at the right time.
I
Nobody
know.
wanted it,
Well, no
right?
one wants to move the stuff half the time too, right?
Well, it wasn't even at a live one, dude. It was an online one.
Online. Well, even online, like you just see it's like I was reading Max Sold reviews the other day, and like people were complaining about what they got for their furniture, and it's like, yeah, don't furniture's a real like you should be happy someone came and got it. It's like
Well,
pianos. Like no one wants a piano. If you can sell that piano, you've just saved yourself $200 just to get rid of it.
but dude, I'm gonna tell you, it's like from my experience, it's like everything else, especially with the booth. It's there's good pieces and there's bad pieces. Like there's
Yeah.
still some really good furnitures out there that you can do
Oh
well
yeah.
with.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes. Don't get me wrong. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, grandma's old couch sort of stuff.
yeah. I'm not gonna buy that. But as far as like cabinets and different things, but the roll up top desk, it was really good shape. It was an older one, and yeah, I'm $150. Can't complain. But especially when I had $4 into it, I was the only bidder.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm not even that surprised to be honest. It's like I just
But
remember when my first Max sold by. It was like I don't know, 4 or 5 bookshelves worth of cookbooks for like $1, less
yeah,
than a penny a book.
did you see my Instagram with the Ram's head? But I had the roll up top desk in that video.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looked good. Like it
Oh,
looked
I'm not
good.
saying it's not good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I'm talking about the weight and the moving.
Well, okay, interesting point because this comes apart. Like you can screw it in together and secure it like solid,
Right.
but the roll up top lifts right off. You pull out that center big drawer, you pull the two sides of it apart. Like it dismantles into basically 4 sections, but 3 main sections,
Yeah,
and then the middle drawer. Like it all folds, it all comes apart, so it's very
that
easy
helps
to
a lot.
transport. Like I transported it myself,
Yeah.
like myself. So I don't know. Like I couldn't lift it up if it was one piece, but because it came into those basically 4 sections, but the 3 main sections, the two sides with the drawers, and then the top one with the roll up thing.
Yeah.
It really, it's very easy to move. But if it was all one piece, that's a huge thing. You need two people. You need to break your back to deal with it for sure.
Yeah.
But what do you got going on this weekend, Carl? Anything?
This weekend, nothing. I don't think so.
Okay.
Just the normal. The booth was fine last weekend. It was fine. Uh, yeah, no, nothing. Like I got family stuff this weekend, so that's all I'm really thinking about. My sister's coming in from BC. Hopefully, they didn't get hit by the tsunami first. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they're coming in Thursday night, and then big family thing for birthday Saturday, and then Sunday my normal booth thing. So it'll be over before I know it. You?
I might not do too much. I don't know. I might go out Saturday. I don't want to go out Saturday to yard sales because I just got so much stuff. I really got to take care of it. It's costing me money
Yeah,
if I don't. So my goal was to get rid of the one storage unit at the end by like the end of August. So that's my goal. And if I didn't have this pick, I would totally be going out. But I have this pick and it's a lot to deal with. So what am I doing? You know what I mean? If I go out again, like what am I doing? Like sometimes to show that you're not an alcoholic, you got to like stop drinking for a month.
or
You know, just
day.
to say listen, I don't, I'm
It's
not
not
an
a problem.
alcoholic. I can say no.
Yeah, I don't have a
Well,
problem.
I got to do this to show that I can say no. You know what I'm saying, Carl?
I know, yeah. Like
So,
that's why I'm not so keen. Like I'm not desperate for inventory, which is a good place to be in. But you got still got to list it, right? So I get that. Or like just if something really good comes up, then spend the time, right?
yeah,
But I think I'm trying a new thing too, where I think I might have mentioned, I can't remember because we talk offline sometimes. I get confused. I get overwhelmed with too much crap around me. So I've
oh
been
yeah,
trying a new thing that's actually working for me, which is I take a box, small box, put in the things I want to list,
yeah,
take it upstairs where I have no inventory, no garbage, no mess. Do the complete draft on eBay. When I'm doing other stuff, like I'll watch some YouTube, do a few drafts, play some games, do a few drafts. And then when I come down is when I do the final cleaning and pictures and
right,
testing.
yeah.
And I can take the pictures right on my phone and add them straight to the listing. And that's actually is working for me because I don't get overwhelmed this way. Because before I was like, what do I want to list now? And then I look around the room and I see 1,000 things I can list.
Did
So
you not use your phone for your listings before?
I did, but what I would do is I would take all the pictures or a bunch of pictures, have it go to Google Photos and download it on my desktop because the final listing of the item would be on my desktop.
Oh, okay.
But now I'm putting, since the draft is already done, I'm just taking the photos on my phone with the draft.
Yeah,
So I don't have to transfer any photos anymore. And I know you could always do this, but there was some reason that I didn't do it the other way in the past. There was something weird with the app, or I can't even remember, but now it seems to work. Oh, the other big thing is when I take photos in the past, I used to alter the exposure
yeah.
to make the picture lighter or darker. I don't bother with that anymore. It was taking too much time, and I wouldn't. It just took too much time, so I just don't worry about it. Because when I take the photos with on the draft in the eBay app, I don't think I can change the exposure, but I don't bother anymore. I'm just like whatever. The pictures are good enough. So
Like in the editing process, you can change the exposure.
when I was taking the pictures before,
Yeah.
I would change the exposure at that time.
Okay. I I kind of I kind of do it in the editing.
I could do that too. I just don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I really don't think it makes a big enough difference for me. I'd rather get the listing up
Yeah.
than even think about that stuff because the second I start thinking about that stuff, I'm going to be listing a lot less for me because I have very little self motivation.
Yeah.
So I have to be very careful with it when it comes along to do it. So that's just a me thing. Other people are completely different, right?
Yeah. No, I I'm probably closer to you than not, but
Mm-mm.
I
There's
do
no
a
way.
lot of the extra steps.
You
But
list so much. Like we're not the same when it comes to that. I don't think we all have aspects that are the same.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, like if I go and look, I should call you out right here. Just to me. I guess that wouldn't be fair because you weren't saying anything. So if I check in your listings,
What are
newly
you calling me
listed.
out on? No, you call me out if you see something. I don't know what you're calling me out on.
So just yesterday, you listed 5 things, right? And
Yeah.
that's probably one of your lower date. Like you don't need that extra motivation. Like I'm always
Well,
playing with my mind, trying to
I
get me
think
to
I
list.
listed 20 things, but 15 sold. So
Oh, really? Oh,
no,
wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I believed you. Damn it!
I'm just kidding.
I totally believed you.
Fell for it. Really? What? No,
Oh man.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out here what did anything I list yesterday sell? Um, no, nothing that I listed yesterday sold.
My
But
point
okay, so
being
I
that you're
listed
much
five
better.
items. So what were you gonna say?
Just my point being that you're much better at listing than I am. Like I always have to fight my brain because it's like it. I had to trick it.
Well, the only reason I only listed five things, I actually wanted to list quite a bit yesterday, but I got caught up cleaning that item, and then I got caught up doing just sorting the stuff out, like the toy belts, and I did a
Yeah.
video on Instagram on the belts, but they're the toy cap guns and the holsters. Those that's what I mean by belts. And then I was cleaning up I was cleaning up stuff and preparing it for the booth.
Yeah.
So, but just that one Ronson lighter thing like took me 2 hours. So
Yeah.
I would have listed more, but I kind of got distracted with doing the other things. So
That's the time cost I was kind of talking about earlier.
yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, okay, so let's just say for easy math, I do 200 on that Ronson lighter display, which I think I might even start at 250. Like, but let's just say I get $200. By the time that is,
Well, this is a good example. So how much did you pay, do you think, fairly for that?
um, it's really hard to tell because I
Just
bought
just
everything
make
in
up a
bar.
number.
Well, let's say $25.
Okay, $25 and it's 200 you think you'll get?
I think I'm going to start at 250, but let's say $200. So
And
there's
how much is the commission on that at the can you say that?
well, yeah, let's say 25%. Let's say 30%. I think it's more 25 is
Well, you have
what's
to also account for the cost in the booth, right? Like which is a small amount, I must admit.
okay. Well, the percentage of the boost is 13%, just like eBay. But then there's rent. So let's say 25 to 30%, depending on how it depends how good of the it depends how good the sales are, right? Because if it's a bad day, that rent
True.
if it's a good month, the rent dilutes it. So on average, you're looking at about 25 to 30%.
So $50. So you go from 200 minus 50, so you're at 150, right?
Yep. Yep.
Minus 25, right? Because
Yep.
that's how much you paid for it. So you're at 125.
Yep.
Then you spent 2 hours cleaning,
Yeah. So it's like $65 an hour or something.
and then you spent the time to go pick it up and bring
No,
it back.
that was free because I'm gonna all the trucks and stuff cars is gonna count for my time picking
Yeah,
it up.
that's true too. So like I just
Which which really wasn't time because I had to go to the booth and I cut through Delhi when I come back home, so I was already past Delhi and then in Delhi. So
yeah
the only difference was the time actually being there, which was probably another couple hours. But
yeah. I'm just
I
using this as
bought
an example rather than like a very specific on this item. I'm just saying there's all extra costs
sure,
in anything, like no matter what it is, right? Like that's
right? But I also bought a wishing well display piece that's going to give me
right.
$200, $150. I think 150 more on that one. Um, so I don't know, dude. There's a lot. Like
There's a
I,
lot of things you could put in, right?
there's a lot. The
Yeah.
like the one belt with the two guns. I'm not going to sell them on eBay, but they pretty much go for the same out of the booth. I mean, the one is $150. It's the Texan Junior. It's a little bit rougher, but okay. So like, I get 125 for it. I get $100 for it. I don't care, right? Like, there's a lot of meat on the bone there.
Yeah.
So because I organized those yesterday, so that's why I'm bringing them in too, right? So you know, um, so I at the very least, I'm still in it for $50 an hour, even if I have to clean it and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I stood outside on the back of my pickup truck with the tailgate down, drinking a nice cold one with the sun beating down on
Also,
me.
you have to include the cost for the beer
No, the beer,
and
the beer, the beer was just like if you had to work, you had to go to lunch. But and then I had the radio blaring.
oh yeah,
I was
cost of the
listening to Guns
energy
N'
for the radio,
Roses. What's that?
cost of the energy for the radio. You had wear and tear on your clothing.
Holy cripes, Carl! I just want to run away and live in the woods. But like there's also the I don't want to say peace of mind, but there's also it is kind of a peace of mind, but it's doing what you want to do, what you enjoy doing for yourself. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
there's a bunch of happiness that comes out of that, right? And you kind of get into Zen mode. Like, I'm cleaning it away and I'm thinking and I'm dealing with stuff in my head that just kind of puts you in a good mood and everything else. So anyway, this is turning into a Randy show. We're getting into the hour and a half. We're trying to stay at an hour. There is some stuff I have to cut out here though because I stumbled through some.
Or you could just leave it in.
I don't know. The dog started barking and I kind of lost train of thought. So I will cut that part out because I was a long pause. Like, what did I talk about, Carl?
I
Carl's
don't
like,
know.
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
I wasn't listening. Don't test
All
me.
right. Anything
Yep.
else, Carl, before we go?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Hope everyone
Well,
has a
Peter
good week.
Mac likes the old style better. So,
Yeah, well, that's too bad.
and Randy's in limbo like us. Those are the comments. Go read them.
Tina just wants more to listen to while she's listing. She's like, that's what she wants. But you know what? Most of the stuff that we talked about is coming into the show anyways. We talked about the comments and sales. So
Yeah.
it's just
and Randy's talking about changing his mind. I'm going to downsize, not going to downsize, going to.
yeah. I replied to that just saying he was basically just saying when you move, you kind of think about your reselling life. And I was saying, yeah, I agree with that. It's like, how far will it be from the Value Villages? How far from my booth? Can I source out there? Like, where am I going to put all my inventory? Like all of this.
Trust me, Randy, when it comes to inventory, it's like, oh my God. And you want to cherish it. Like you don't want to break it and all this other stuff. But
Oh yeah.
one thing I am doing is putting stuff into auction. So we'll see how that works out.
Good.
All right. Anything else, Carl?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Thanks for everyone for coming out. We'll be here next week. We're here every Friday, unless I'm moving, which won't happen for a while. So we're here every Friday, Spotify and YouTube. So thanks for listening, everyone. Have a good week, Carl.
You too.
Good luck with hopefully you get some sales or some sourcing.
Both would be good. Yeah.
You got that card thing, so you never know. All right. Have a good week. Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.